Pads are on. Guys are getting hurt. Gerald McCoy got injured for the Dallas Cowboys the other day. Everybody saw the video. It circled the internet. Ruptured his quad or pulled his quad. Maybe his quad came off. Something happened with his quad. A big-time quad injury happened while doing a warm-up drill, giving a look for somebody else. So this guy is literally doing everything right. Not only is he helping somebody else, he's being a dummy for them, basically. During that, boom, blows out his quad. Now, everything is starting to leak out about the financials of his contract and the setup because he was injury waived, which means the Dallas Cowboys decided to waive Gerald McCoy, which we find out now via an Adam Schefter leak of his contract that there was actually a quad clause in the contract that if he got an injury to the quad, they could cut him and not owe him any more money than they already gave him for his signing bonus, which was $3 million, I believe. Now, I said it's a cold world because just one day after this video of him taking a fall that looked nasty and having to do surgery on his quad and everything like that, he gets cut, right? And it's a cold world. That's what the NFL is. And everybody says it stands for not for long and all that. But when this type of stuff happens, the internet's quickest reaction is he got paid $3 million to do one practice or whatever. It's like, I get it. He got paid $3 million for 2 practices. But how about future employment? How about getting a chance to rehab with the Dallas Cowboys as opposed to going to an offsite place that will be paid for, but still doing it? How about being in the building? Like, there is a lot that goes into whenever somebody gets waived after being injured because you're no longer like actually a part of the team anymore. Like, even if you do your treatment there, you're all by yourself. You're not going in. It's just... And maybe they'll do it for him because there's a lot of conversation saying he'll be a leader and everything like that. But I don't think that's the norm. I don't think that's ever been the norm for anybody I saw. It's just he got $3 million for that. It's like, well, will he be able to get another job ever again after this? Will the Dallas Cowboys feel any? Now, granted, the Dallas Cowboys stayed with Jalen Smith, right, with the linebacker when he got hurt. Yep. They stayed with him. They have shown that this is not the thing, but this is the reality of the NFL. If there's a clause in there that they can get rid of you and not pay you any money, they're going to take it, which leads me to believe that whenever they went through that contract with him, they said that, and they're like, oh, it's in every contract. Don't worry about it. That is the classic go-to, by the way, for anybody negotiating with it. Oh, that's in every contract. Oh, that's in every contract. It's like, well, how about this? Not mine.
Yeah. And how specific, too.
Quad injury. And we looked up his injury history. Yep. He's got a foot, I believe. He's got a shin somehow or calf. Yeah. He's got a hip. Yep. He's got a pec, and it's all on his right side. Tricep, yeah. And the only thing that it hadn't hit yet, it seemed, if the thing was a quad injury. So the fact that they said that, very wild. But the fact that they cut him, it's just cold, cold, cold world.
When guys get injuries, season-ending injuries, and they're not cut, they're on the team they have a contract for years and years and years. Do they normally do their physical therapy while you guys are practicing, or is it like they come in early to do it so that they can still come to practice and be a part of practice and hang out with the group or not?
Rehab is normally done during practice for the guys that aren't on the team, but they still do meetings. And by the way, when they're done with rehab, they'll go out to practice, right? So they'll see like the end of practice, but they're watching the film of the practice. For us, I would assume a lot of teams are different because there's some teams that practice in the morning. We're always an afternoon practice team. So I think everybody does. Our guys would normally do their rehab during practice or butt crack of dawn. Mm-hmm. So it's like you could get in there super early and get it done or whatever. But during the day, whenever the active players are available for rehab, it is very much promoted to be in there for rehab. Like, you can't join the club in the tub or whatever is the big thing. But if you're a guy who has anything, like you are being, I don't want to say pushed to do rehab, but like expected, like you need to take care of your business because a healthy you is better for the team. So normally during the hours that it's available, meeting times too, some guys, if they're not going into the meetings for whatever reason, maybe they're too low, they'll do it then. But those athletic trainers that people call it, their days just never stop. Everybody's like, oh, you know what? The water boys that go out there and just spray the water, they get paid an average of $60,000 a year or something like that. It's like, not enough. Those people, women, and water girls and water boys, they're there from 5 a.m. to probably 7 p.m. every single day. They have to be the first ones in. They have to be the last one. Along with the equipment managers, the same thing. It's like you guys see them squirting water in on Sundays and Mondays and Thursdays in America, Canada, Mexico, and Europe. Europe. But what you don't see is the rolling of a hamstring at 5:15 a.m. so that person could go do rehab over here. It's just like that is a thankless job. But they have to get everybody right, by the way, because if the team invested in them, you know what we need? We need them to be healthy because we invested in them.
Does their workload change during the season? Like, are they super busy because more guys are getting hurt at the start of camp and their bodies just aren't as ready as opposed to, like, first couple weeks of the season?
You know, first couple weeks of training camp, you got double the amount of humans there, right? So then there is intern athletic trainers in there that are taping ankles, trying to help out as much as possible. But if it's a player who's potentially on the fringe, but he's got something, you don't want him to do rehab with a college kid. So the physical therapist on staff, they still have to drop all the programs. So they're in till there's a guy named Aaron Burrill, and he's a West Virginia guy. He's the head physical therapist for the Indianapolis Colts. Kyle, I mean, there is an incredible, and I don't want to list off everybody's name, but you get it in that room. They're an incredible group of people. Training camp, when everybody else is doing their meetings and stuff, and I'm just moseying around, like either working on my jumper in the gym or whatever. One of my last stops would be over there at the athletic training room or whatever, and this dude would be in his little corner office typing up plans for tomorrow for each player. And I would just walk in there like, what's going on, man? Well, I only got like 30 more guys. But he's been doing it for, I think, like 20 years though. Like, loves being a part of the team. But they are a massive part of the team. And they don't ever get talked about. Massive part of the team. The equipment managers, the athletic trainers, that is a massive, massive, massive part of the team.